So I wanted to show you how to clean a Super Game Boy so that it works with no problem on your console. As usually, very messy everything here, but this is like my little workspace here. A couple of consoles and some games there, and more consoles, and well. So actually, I've already done this for this one. Which might not have been that smart because I wanted to show you how to do it, but I'm still gonna just show you what I did. So first I made sure to clean the contacts on the game so that it's shining nice. I cleaned the contact with this one, this substance here. Just put it on one of these. Rub around. Be a bit careful with this substance because if you put it on that green circuit board thing, you'll remove it. It's not that it's super dangerous to do that, but I don't think it's good to do it. And then after, I kind of mix it with this alcoholic cleaning thing. I think most alcoholic cleaning substances are equally good. It's just a matter of which ones are less dangerous than others. For example, you should not use methanol because it's very dangerous. If you just get a little bit, you might go blind or feel very bad. Ethanol is probably the safest. This one is actually not what it says on the label because I changed it. What is supposed to be on the label is ethanol. Ethanol, as it says there, and 2-propanol. But I replaced it with isopropanol alcohol, which is also a cleaning substance. I can tell from experience that if you get it on your fingers or put the fingers in the mouth and such, I know that at least I feel a bit funny. I don't feel it's hard to explain, but I feel a bit funny, so I don't think it's healthy. This one here is you can clean your kitchen things for it. It's kind of a thick yellow substance. It smells a bit like lemon. I'll show you a bit how it looks. If you put it, you put it just a little bit on your tops there, on my Q-tip as you call it. I call it tops. You can pretty good for cleaning all kinds of stuff. After I clean it with the contacts, I like to clean it off with this one because I don't think this substance should be attached to the contact of the game for a very long time. It could be, what do you say when it's acidic, like tear on it if it sits there for a long while. The instruction for this say that you should put it on and clean it off. It advises you not to rub. So I clean it off with this afterwards because this is like technically clean. Like you can really clean off stuff, but it's not very good at stuff that's really attached. It's good at removing that pen, like permanent markers and that kind of stuff. Some things you just can't remove with this, but you can get it off with this. But it's not very good for if you peel off a label or something. The rest of it, or getting dirt out of things. This one the alcoholic solution just won't be able to do that. That's where you need to have this, or sometimes you can just use an eraser. Actually, erasers are also good at getting dirt or markers from stickers and that kind of stuff. The marks from stickers. You sometimes use an eraser for that, just a normal eraser. So after I clean off these contacts, I think they're pretty shiny. I'm gonna put it in here. And you need to note that this one also has contact here on the side, so it's a bit more difficult to get the Q-tip in there. But you have to get them in there and rub and make sure that every single contact is clean enough, so it's kind of shiny. If it still won't go off even with these substances, You can always put some like this on it and just rub it around there. You know, hard to do with one hand, but basically just move it around in there and jiggle it and then clean it even more with Q-tip. Just make sure you need to get all that black spots and stuff away from it. If it still sticks, you can open the card up. Like on this strangely shaped card, but they have 4 screws. But usually you just a screw down here and a screw down. Oh, a screw down here and a screw down there, right? So just open it up with the game bit like this one. 3.5. No wait, 3.8. Sorry. Game bit. You can buy them in many places, like eBay, and everyone sells them because you just need to have them. And I recommend you have one of these handles, especially if you're gonna open up a console. You have to have a handle because you can't, like a Super Fam here, and then you need to have like a 4.5 game bit. You can't have it with the 3.5; just won't fit in there. So you need to have a bigger one, and which I don't have. And then you just need to get them in there. And it's gonna be hard if you just have the game bit. You can't hold it very well. So anyways, you can open it up, and then you can open the card up. And then after that, you can take a small screwdriver, like this one, except you probably want to have a flathead screwdriver. Oh, here we have one. It is a bit messy here. I can't. Look at there, Saturn console. Look at there, Dreamcast. What is that? It's a European PAL. Oh, SNES. Look here. What's that? Game Boy games. Oh, a bunch of them. Hello. Okay. Take a flathead screwdriver, and then you just make sure you get the black spots and dots away from the contacts, and then usually you can often get the game to work. So let's see now if it still works. Alright, it works. It says there's no game in there, so that's true. This card didn't work at first, and the reason is that there's often there's dirt and stuff inside of this container here. Now I've cleaned it, so it probably should work. Yep. As usually, it's often the game that needs cleaning, but I noticed that this Super Game Boy is not always may make games harder to work than they have to be. And then you can just dip your Q-tip into this alcoholic solution, and you apply it on the game, basically. Apply it before the alcohol solution is dried. You just give it some good rubs around there, like this. Then you can take a dry Q-tip quickly. Just remove whatever junk is on here. And then you do that a couple of times, and that's how you clean connectors and stuff. So yeah, you can also clean your connector with it. If your Super Nintendo has a dirty connector, you can apply some of this alcoholic solution on the contacts here on a game part. Wiggle it around, take it up, and you can give it a good wiggle. It's not going to break the console, as far as I know. I think you have to be very extremely hard wiggling if you're going to break the console. I never could really imagine how you would do that. So just wiggle it around, then you take it off, and you take a dry Q-tip and clean off whatever junk was released from the connector there inside, and then you just do that a couple of times, and usually that's enough to have improved the life of your connector. So let's see now here. Start as it should. I never used to like the Super Game Boy earlier because I just so much liked the handheld consoles. but so much easier on the eyes to play with a Super Game Boy. And I can also record them with my recorder to make game videos. Kirby Streamland 2, as this game is known, or Hashi no Kirby. Well, let's just say Hashi no Kirby 2. I'm not quite sure if it's 2 or whatever. But that doesn't matter. It's a game that has improved colors on the Super Game Boy. As you can see, it has this nice border around the screen. That's in, even though my camera is very bad, but you can see that it has some kind of special border. And there's also improved colors here, like you have a clear blue, a clear yellow, clear red color. And some games have this kind of improvement, but not that many games. I think they just didn't bother making them, and obviously games released before the Super Game Boy don't have any improvements. So we can see that the save game for this game works, because first here we have 83% and it's on level 7. And let's just choose this one. I think it has some improved sound as well. I don't remember the sound effect in the original, but maybe it had. I don't know. I do think the Game Boy is quite well capable of making good sounds. I mean, I used to think that the Game Boy was just an inferior NES, really. But I'm a bit like thinking about whether the Game Boy might have better sound than the NES. What do you think? Is it capable of making better sounds than the 8-bit NES? And the graphics, I mean, you might think the graphics on the Game Boy is worse than the NES. But in many games the graphics is actually more detailed. Like if you compare the Game Boy version of Metroid with the NES version of Metroid, the Game Boy version is a lot more detailed. It's just that it's a smaller screen, so I can't fit that much in it. So Kirby Streamland 2 is quite a popular game. It's usually mentioned on best of list, best of Game Boy, or most popular Game Boy games. If I were to make a gaming video, I'd have to use my recorder because you really can't see very much. Maybe you see better like this. Kirby Streamland 2 has a save function, unlike Kirby Streamland 1, and you can also ride on various animals in this game. I'll just choose a level here and see if we get an animal. I can't really play very well with one hand. Wow. The Dreamland games are kind of, the specialty with them is that they're made to be for sort of beginner gamers. So they're very simple. But they're cute, and they kind of, like, I think they're you can, of course, eat the enemies up, but I can't really do that with one hand very well. It has nice music and very just cheerful feeling. There was a Kirby Streamland 3, in case you wonder, and I actually happen to have it here. I can show that to you. I have it right here, actually. Here's the Japanese version. It wasn't released in Europe, but I think it was released in the United States. It is a bit sought after. The value is, I think, around $25 for the cart if it's in US or Japan version. It's not that common, actually. It's not rare, but it's not that common. And I think this game has like a special copy protection. So if you have like a Switch modded European console, you might not be able to play that. So just so you know, it's one of the few games that has that protection. So if your game doesn't work, you might not realize that it's actually your console, and that's why it doesn't work on import adapters either. you need to have an NTS console or a chip modded Super Nintendo. So I just cleaned this up earlier. Let's see if it still works. I can't really say much about this game because I haven't played it. But as you can see, it's no problem playing the Japanese version. The same thing here, you can eat enemies, so you can spit them out. And as you probably know, if you're a bit of an older gamer, Nintendo continued with the Kirby series on with what you call the Super Smash Bros. And all those Nintendo series that they had. So that was Kirby Streamland 3. And I suppose this concludes this demonstration that started off as just wanted to clean the Super Game Boy and went on with everything else and included all the Kirby games. Pretty cool. I wanted to mention maybe the first Kirby game as well. But maybe I can just show you the box of the Japanese Kirby too. Pretty nice box, I think. It says it's Super Game Boy support, so you know that it has some special functions for that. Speaking of Kirby, here's Kirby's Adventure on the Famicom. It's a pretty nice game. Nice looking game. Kirby's Adventure, as you may know, is one of the latest releases, released in 1993. So, you know, the Super Famicom in Japan was released in, I think it was 1990. I'm not quite sure, but I think it was 1990. It was no later, at least. So, you know, the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom had been out for 3 years when they kept on making these Famicom games. I'm not quite sure why, but I think it's because there was just so many of these, both NES and Famicoms that were sold, that, you know, were in people's homes still. So they just kept on making these games, and possibly they were cheaper than the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom games. So I have a little problem with my Famicom. I have to, for some reason, press the reset button here to make the game start. It's like a mystery problem. I'm trying to figure out what that is because of. So Kirby's Adventure is a very advanced game, graphically and musically. This is the Japanese version. There is actually the problem that all this text is in Japanese. That sort of give you the instructions. If you know the instructions, you don't really need. It's not a problem. Just choose this one here. Now, I think that at some period in this game, there's also going to be some instructions where some game, I think mini game, where that's in Japanese, that you might need to actually read Japanese in order to understand that. I'm not quite sure. I haven't played that far. So I think you start to see a similarity here now, the Kirby games. When it comes to cleaning, something that I think is important is that the game shouldn't glitch when you move it around. Glitches a little bit, but It's not. It doesn't break. Maybe if I moved it even more, it would make a bigger glitch. This still runs, but you don't want that to happen in case you move the Famicom just a little bit, or the Super Famicom, or whatever console you're using. You don't want the game to stop working, to take a break, and then you have to restart it, and everything will be lost. So that's why I think that you should clean the context so that the game doesn't glitch when you move it around. And it's the same thing for the Super NES and Super Famicom. That's my little suggestion. Another cool thing, or strange thing, that can happen if your games aren't clean is you get some kind of copyright warning message. This one. See if it's still here if I press the reset button. Yep. So you can actually trigger this, and some games have some weird copyright mechanism, like you can only play the first level or something if they detect that, if they think that your game is a pirate game. We'll just do like this, and I think it's just gonna start perfectly fine here. So this is another Kirby game. It's Kirby's Block Ball. I actually once played this on an emulator. That was maybe 15 years ago, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So this is a Japanese version, but you can play that without any problem. It's like one of those games you can just, play around. It's like mini golf or something. About course 3 here. They give you a little advice on how you might beat the level. Like you can bounce off a tree, I think this one says. You can make a curve ball. So let's see where we're gonna head now. And yeah, and you get special like upgrades you can use. See if I can get it up here. You press up and down to make it work. And then here are like how you can make curve balls, I think. Or you can just press left and right to make it curve balls. I'm just gonna, and then this meter here is also some kind of how you can twist the ball a bit. I'm gonna try and make an up twist there. Full power. See what happens. Well, something happened. Then you only have you don't only have a selected number of attempts you can make before you kind of game over. So now I have 2 strawberries left there. 2 shots left. I will get more shots once I take out these guys. I'm gonna make, maybe I'll just put it there. Oh,